Hey there, athletes. Coach John Ferry here. I'd like to welcome you to our Week 2 athlete briefing for our Fall in Love with Running Challenge, coming at you live today from Chicago, where Team Wilpers is here for the Chicago Marathon weekend. Very excited to celebrate a lot of accomplishments of you athletes, celebrate a good fun weekend of running all around. So we'll start, as always, with our Week 1 review here. So for those who did the 20-minute distance test, congratulations for setting the stage, setting the baseline for the next 6 weeks of this challenge. That's always a tough undertaking, so nice job. Great way to get started. Hopefully by this point you've entered those test results and gotten your new paces that you'll be using for the next 6 weeks of workouts as we go through this challenge here. For those who didn't test, we started the week with that 30-minute interval run. So there's some VO2 max burst to generate a little bit of power, and then a nice block of marathon pace to hold tempo. So hopefully after you hit those VO2 max bursts, really kind of pushed it, that kind of cruise interval, that 5 minutes or so of marathon pace felt really solid. So that's certainly the goal there. Second key workout of this week was our hill run. Very straightforward workout here. 1 minute repeats, a little bit of pop on the uphill, nice and easy recovery on the downhill. Working on, in these workouts, on form, we're working on economy, we're working on generating leg strength with the resistance of that incline. And per usual, we're finishing the week with our endurance run. So this is our typical end to the week. This is a nice, easy way, hopefully, to round things out here. A little bit of housekeeping. Our boxes. We're coming into week 2 here. Hopefully you've gone in, checked off all your week 1 boxes, said I did the workout. Continuing to go in, check the box, keep yourself accountable to maintaining and trying to track that 100% completion percentage is huge. I've mentioned a couple times now, but I'll throw out one more time that we're tracking this well. So we're going to continue to go in behind the scenes, see who's checking those boxes and maintaining a 100% completion percentage, and going to continue to offer up some randomly selected prize winners week by week through the entire duration of this challenge. So there's some skin in the game here to maintain that 100%. I mentioned we're here in Chicago. I'm going to do a quick rundown of some of our events here. If you're in the area, we would love to see you here over the next couple days. I had a great opportunity to Expo to meet some Team Wilpers athletes today. It was super fun. Live for this stuff. So tomorrow morning, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., we'll be cheering on the 5K runners. We'll be downtown at Madison and Lower Wacker Drive. You can look out for me. I'm going to try to be real visible. I've got my neon yellow here to hopefully be seen. You can look out for our big Team Wilpers signs here. High fives, definitely generating power. So that'll be our 5K. At 8:45, come run with us. We're going to help shake out the marathoners, do about a 20-30 minute real easy run starting from urban space in downtown. Then we're going to end up there again and do a little meet and greet, maybe some bagels and coffee for about an hour or so. Just kind of chit chat before people get off to the rest of their day. So once again, we would love to see you if possible. Then on Sunday, we're going to have 2 cheer stations. I've posted the location. But once I get a chance to check them out again tomorrow, I'll reshare them to the Facebook page. And absolutely, I expect something to be different than I had planned for in advance. So keep checking this page for updates as we go through. I'll try to make sure I post any updates right here to the Facebook page. Now, to our week 2 workouts of this challenge. So we're starting off the week with an interval run. So this is a kind of a wacky workout. So there's a ton of variety. We're hitting a lot of different paces, a lot of pace zones, a lot of energy zones here. So we're doing a little bit of VO2, a little bit of threshold. We have some periods at half marathon pace. And so it would be a very reasonable question to ask why we're doing a workout like this. And there are a couple reasons. One, maybe most importantly, it seems kind of fun to me. A lot of variety, a lot of mixing things up, different things to think about, different paces to go to. So while it can be a little bit hard to kind of hit those paces and be consistent there, that's all right. That's kind of part of the experience of it, is trying to find new paces, get new feels, and see how things work. 2, maybe a little bit more training oriented here, is we're trying to hit quite a few different energy zones. These are the energy zones that are very commonly used in those turkey trot distance kind of races, somewhere like 5K to 5 miles. And so I promise to get everybody relatively, turkey trot ready here. So we want to hit our endurance race zones. We want to hit threshold. We want to hit VO2 max, because we're going to be utilizing all of them. And in a 6-week progression, which is basically what we have here, we can't really fully periodize to really go out and run a perfect 5K. So we need to be hitting multiple energy zones often so that we're trying to really maximize as much as we can in a relatively truncated training cycle. So that's kind of the more training philosophy based reason that we're doing a kind of mixed interval workout like this. But hopefully you have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, a lot of variety, really hitting on a lot of different kind of pace zones that we use in different race distances. Kind of similar here in our key run number 2, we've got our hill and speed interval run. It's kind of another one that's a little bit funky. It's a kind of a funky run week here. This workout, however, all about power generation. We're trying to generate power on the incline and fire up that hill in very short segments. So you want to get into it right away on those 30-second repeats. Then what we're trying to do is take that same power but translate it to the flat in those VO2 max segments. And so, once again, power generation up the hill, remove the resistance of incline, put it on flat, and hopefully power through that 1-minute interval there. The hope is that after we take the time to do a pretty extended warm-up, which features your striders to really open up that stride length there, we do the short, powerful hill repeats to really engage and recruit those posterior chain muscles, that when we get into those 1-minute VO2 max intervals, you're really primed, ready to run, and really going to be able to kind of let loose, especially because it's kind of a relatively short interval with hopefully a pretty generous recovery that'll allow you to come back down. So this is very far from an easy workout per se, but it should be something that feels very appropriate. And my hopes for all of you is that by the time you're getting into those 1-minute VO2 max intervals, it's really an opportunity to really push the pace, have some fun, and I expect that you'll feel really good actually in those intervals there. Now, I must admit, as I was rereading this workout after I wrote it today and sent it to everyone, I realized that especially for the outdoor only runners, which tends to be myself when key workouts, that this one has a couple logistical complications for sure. So I'm sorry about it, but do your best here. I'm going to give you a couple modifications if you're worried about executing it well outside. So if needed, the 1-minute VO2 max segments could actually also be done on incline. What I would do is probably just drop the pace to threshold or half marathon pace, depending upon how steep that hill is. And just instead of, you'll still do the 30 seconds on incline, but then you'll also do 1 minute on incline. You absolutely are still generating the power that we're seeking from the workout. On the flip side, for our flatlanders out there, if it's impossible for you to find a hill, what you can actually do is remove the hill segments, increase the pace to VO2 max, and kind of make those 30-second intervals VO2 max intervals before the longer 1-minute intervals. So I like that one less, but if there's no hill available, it's not a bad alternative. It's definitely still a power and strength generated workout. However, if you have the option to kind of do it, it definitely would be best to try to honor the original intention of the workout. We're going to finish our week, as always, with our endurance run. So just reduce your pace, really focus on effort here. Should always be, hopefully, the best run of the week. Now, in a very unusual turn of events, we have no questions that came up from the page today. So I'm going to bid everyone a very fond Friday evening, send you off to have an amazing week 2. Good luck. Have an amazing time. To all the runners and racers out there this weekend, we'll be cheering you on either in person or from afar. So thanks as always for being here on Friday evening. I can't wait to see you next week.